What is up, you guys? Glitchiz here, coming at you with a very special video today. It's special for several reasons. The first one being that this is by far the most requested video that I've gotten on the channel up to this point. So I'm really glad that I'm able to put this together for you guys. I know a lot of you have been waiting for it, but more importantly, the second reason is that thanks to all of your guys' amazing support over the last few weeks, the Glitchiz YouTube channel has officially hit 500 plus subscribers. I can't even describe how awesome that is. I love that you guys are enjoying the videos and showing your support in the comments and liking and sharing and everything like that. And to show my appreciation and show my thanks, I want to officially announce that I'm going to be doing a $50 Amazon gift card giveaway to one lucky Glitch Gang member that has been showing support. And I plan on doing that through our Discord. So all you have to do to join is continue showing your support like you've already been doing, and click the links down in the description to join the official Glitch Gang Discord. And once you become a verified member on there, you'll notice that there's a giveaway channel. And as soon as this video goes live, I'm going to be throwing up that giveaway. And all you got to do is click the reaction in that giveaway section to be entered. And I'll probably let it run for a week or so that everyone that wants to join can get a fair chance to get in there. And then we'll randomly draw, and it will randomly select a verified Glitch Gang member. So thank you all again for the amazing support. But let's jump right into today's video. For those of you that are wondering, it is my go-to budget builds for any low-level players or people that are more late game but have potentially reset their weapon and want a viable build that is still good but doesn't include any escalation armor pieces or legendary weapons. So these are all base behemoth weapons and armor that are still viable. And what's more important is I've optimized it so that these few particular armor pieces will work on every single weapon type. And you'll see here in a minute, with the exception of the sword. I like a few cells differently on the sword than other weapons. So the helmet I swapped out, but on every other weapon type, you'll see the armor pieces are exactly the same. So if you can power surge just these few pieces and use the cells that I show you to use in these different builds, you're gonna have a viable build early game with no legendaries, no escalation armor requirements, and you'll be set across every single weapon type with one armor set combo. Now, to jump right into it, I do want to say that because of these builds are pretty similar, it might get a little repetitive for most of you if you're watching from beginning to end. So what I'll do is, to be fair, I'll go just as in depth on every single weapon as I did for the previous one, even though they're similar, but I'll put timestamps down in the description to break this video up into chapters, because it will be a little longer because I'm doing every single weapon type. So you can just skip to whatever weapon build you want to see the exact min-max cells that I may have changed here and there on the few different weapons. So first off, let's jump right into the sword. I'm going to go right down the list how it is in the Slayer's Path, and we're going to go weapon by weapon and show you what we got here. So the sword we'll do first because that one's the one weapon that's a little bit different. The other thing that I want to point out is what I did for you guys, and I think it's going to work out pretty well, is I based every one of these builds around the Hellion weapons. Now, some of you late game players and more veteran players might be looking at me like, oh, well, once you get the legendary weapons and you go into more late game, sometimes like the umbral weapons are a better choice. And you're right, and the umbral legendary weapons tend to be the meta for sword and a lot of other weapon types. But a little bird tells me, and I'm sure you guys already know, we have a new frost behemoth on the way, and with it most likely a frost escalation. So having a build that's based around a blaze weapon will not only be beneficial because you're getting the nice big elemental damage boost, but the Hellion weapons in general have double power slots, so they're really good in general for mid to early to mid game damage before you get those legendaries. So every single one of these builds, you'll notice, are based around Hellion weapons, and besides the sword, everyone will have similar armor. So let's jump right into it. For the sword, obviously we're using Inferno's Razor. That's the Hellion sword, and in here I'm running a +3 discipline cell to keep us below 50% health, as well as give us a 7.5% critical strike chance bonus, and a sharpened cell. And now the one thing I will mention now is the way I set up all these builds for efficiency purposes, so you don't have to keep swapping things in and out, is I left the second power slot on the weapons as like your flex slot. So depending on the weapon type, like for swords in particular at lower levels, I like using sharpened because it'll do increased part damage. On something like the hammers, you'll notice I'll throw like Knockout King on there for the increased stagger damage. Because it has a double power slot and we're able to max everything out on the side without it, you can use this second power slot to throw whatever additional power bonus cell into your build that benefits that particular weapon type the most. So I went with sharpened for the sword, and right now I'm using Ardent Cyclone. Feel free to use Avenging Overdrive if you like, if you are good at dodging and want that parry. And Recursive Hill is pretty much the go-to regular mod for the swords. And for those of you that don't know, sharpened will give us plus 15% additional part damage. For the helmet, and this is only on the sword, I'm running the Lightning Helm. This is the Stormclaw helmet. And the reason I'm running that is because I really like Energized on swords, because being able to build your weapon meter really quickly and get like your Ardent Cyclone out or your parry up and whatnot, Avenging Overdrive really fast, is super beneficial on the sword. So for only sword, I like running Lightning Helm so you can get +6 Energized by the end of the build. And then for the cell, I'm running a +3 Wild Frenzy, which will give us increased attack speed, 20% actually, when under 50% health, which we will always be because we're running Discipline for the build in that. For the chest piece, I'm running Boreal Resolve. This is the Boreas chest piece. That will give us +3 Rage and our first +3 into Iceborne. And for those of you who don't know what those do, we will get to +6 for these key perks. And you'll notice that the majority of these key perks will be the same across every build. And I did that because at lower levels, you want an armor set that has cells and perks that are viable across the board. So you don't have to waste your materials upgrading a ton of stuff that you're never going to use. So Rage, because we're using Discipline, will give us another 25% additional damage. And Iceborne, when it's at +6, will give us 30% decreased damage taken when under 50% health, which again, we will always be because of Discipline, and give us an 8% lifesteal bonus that can't heal beyond 50%, which we don't have to worry about. So really good there. You will be lifestealing plenty enough to regain any health that you're losing despite being at half health. So really good there. For the gloves, I'm running Boreal Might. These are the Boreas gloves. That will give us our second +3 to Rage and our second +3 to Overpower. And then lastly, for the boots, I'm running Boreal March. These are the Boreas legs. Boreas early game armor is really good. Will give us our final +3 to Iceborne and our final +3 to Wild Frenzy. And then for the lantern, I'm running Drask's Eye for the 30% increased damage. The lightning bolt is also pretty helpful, and that is where our second energized cell will be to get us to +6 for energized. For the tonics, I'm just running the standard Blitz, Frenzy, and Bulwark tonic. In a few builds, you'll notice as we go through the different weapons, I swap the Bulwark tonic with more like niche, like one-off tonics that I think are better for those particular weapons. But if you feel like you're taking a little too much damage, feel free to keep running Bulwark tonic. That's fine. Frenzy tonic will give us the increased damage, and Blitz tonic obviously will give us the increased attack speed. So that is the sword. So moving on, the next weapon type on the list is the axe. So from here on out, you'll notice if you look at these 4 armor pieces, every single weapon type, with the exception of the lantern, will use the exact same armor pieces. So very handy with this particular build. This is, I can't take credit for this build either. This is a long known set of armor pieces that veteran players have used for a long time. A hidden gem here, a little secret. I'm letting you guys in on it now. Really good combination of armor and perks that you're able to get on these, and they're really easy to craft. So moving on, again, we got the axe. We're running the Hellion's Axe, Inferno's Decree, and on the axe, I'm running Disciplined as well as Sharpened again, because again, axes are really good at part damage. And then we're also getting obviously the Overpower, +3 Overpower from the weapon itself. And for the special mod, I'm running Grim Onslaught, and the regular mod, I'm running Overcharged Cylinder. Overcharged Cylinder, really good because in escalations, when you're killing behemoths, chaining them phase after phase after phase, If you can keep that 4 stacks up, it's like 75% extra damage you're going to be doing, which is nuts. For the helmet, I'm going to run Light's Crown. This is the Rezakiri helmet. That will give us +3 into Conduit. And I'm also running a +3 Wild Frenzy. Now, the reason for the rest of these builds I'm running the Light's Crown is because when you're at half health, you want to be able to attack quickly enough to proc that Iceborne as frequently as possible to make sure that we're always regenerating and not going too low. So with Conduit, what that does, and we will get to +6 by the end of the build, it gives us +15% attack speed to all Slayers, including ourselves, every time we use our Lantern Hold ability. So really good attack speed buff there, and we're getting +6 Wild Frenzy, which will give us a 20% attack speed buff there as well. Now for the chest piece, again, all of these armor pieces are going to be the same from here on out. Boreal Resolve, this is the Boreas chest piece with Rage and Iceborne. For the gloves, we have Boreal Might with Rage and Overpower. For the legs, we have the Boreal March. This will have +3 Iceborne and then a +3 Wild Frenzy cell. So that will get all of our 5 main perks to +6. And then the Lantern on this particular build, I'm running Embermane's Rapture instead of Draskai because I prefer having the additional attack speed over the additional damage, because axes, hammers, warpikes, they're types of weapons that tend to be a little slower or have longer combos. So any additional attack speed is always nice. And I prefer that over damage because your final hit in those combos are way more important. And then we have the final +3 Conduit cell to get us +6 for Conduit in there. For the tonics, same as the sword, Blitz, Frenzy, and Bulwark for increased attack speed, damage, and defense. Moving on, we have the hammers. So for the hammers, we're running, again, the Hellion Hammer. This is Inferno's Burden. That will give us, ideally, +3 Overpower. And I'm putting a second Overpower cell to get us to +6, as well as Knockout King in my flex slot. I mentioned before I would swap the flex out with a few different ones. So hammers, as I'm sure you guys already know, are really good for staggering behemoths and pump out the most stagger damage of any weapon type. So throwing on that extra Knockout King cell will give us a 15% additional stagger damage bonus. So a really good additional damage power perk there. For the helmet, again, we're using Light's Crown. This is the Rezakiri helmet with +3 Conduit and +3 Wild Frenzy cell. For the attack speed on our Lantern Hold and just general attack speed overall, when we're below 50% health, which we will be because we have Discipline. For the chest piece, Boreal Resolve with +3 Rage and +3 Iceborne. For the gloves, Boreal Might with +3 Rage and +3 Discipline to get us below 50% health, and activate all of these Rage and Wild Frenzy perks, because all of those have to have below 50% health, so it'll be active at all times. The legs, Boreal March, final +3 into Iceborne, and the final +3 into Wild Frenzy. And then again, because it's a slower weapon, I went with Embermane's Rapture to give us the additional attack speed, and our final Conduit cell to get us to +6 for Conduit. The only thing I changed for the tonics is I kept Blitz and Frenzy for attack speed and damage, but instead of Bulwark, and again, you can run Bulwark if you need more defense, I went with the Assault tonic instead, because that gives 40% increased stagger damage for 75 seconds. So a nice little stagger damage bonus. And again, hammers are really good at stagger damage. So really good tonic for the hammers in particular. Moving on, we have Chain Blades. Again, with the Hellion Chain Blades, Inferno's Fangs. +3 Overpower on the weapon with +3 Discipline. And much like the sword and axe, I'm running +3 Sharpened for that increased percentage to part damage. Oops. For the helmet, I'm running Light's Crown. Oops, I didn't go over the mods. So Reaper's Dance for the special mod and Serrated Blades for the regular mod. And on the hammers, why do I keep backing out of that? For the hammers, I have Concussive Salvo for the special mod and Extended Clip for the regular mod. Back to the Chain Blades. Got Light's Crown with +3 Conduit and +3 Wild Frenzy for the increased attack speed buffs. The chest pieces, again, Boreal Resolve with +3 Rage and +3 Iceborne. The gloves, Boreal Might with +3 rage and +3 overpower. Legs, again, Boreal March with the final +3 into Iceborne and final +3 into Wild Frenzy. And then on the chain blades, I like doing max damage as possible, so we went back to the Draskai for the 30% increased damage, and then I threw in our second conduit cell to get us +6 for conduit. And then back to the original tonic layout, Frenzy, Bulwark, and Blitz for the chain blades. Next up, we have the Warpike. This is, again, is the Hellion Warpike, Inferno's Arrow. That will give us +3 overpower through the weapon, +3 discipline to get us to half health and activate all of our half health perks, +3 into Rage Hunter as my secondary perk, because typically you're running Pike as a support, so if the fights go on longer, having additional damage while the behemoth is enraged is always good. And then I'm running Concussive Payload for the special mod and Executioner Spearhead for the regular mod. And I mentioned in my previous video, Executioner Spearhead, really good. By 99.9% of the time, go to regular mod for Warpikes, especially in escalation. And then back to the standard armor build. Helmet, Light's Crown with +3 conduit, +3 Wild Frenzy. For the attack speed, Boreal Resolve with +3 rage and +3 Iceborne for the lifesteal and low health defense. Boreal Might for the gloves, giving us +3 rage with a +3 overpower cell. And lastly, the Boreal March, giving us the final +3 into Iceborne and the final +3 into Wild Frenzy. Back to speed, because we want to get that poke combo off as quickly as possible. So I'm running Embermane's Rapture for the attack speed bonus. And that will be our second +3 into conduit as well for additional attack speed. And then the one thing I changed for the tonics on Warpike was I swapped the Bulwark tonic out for an Insight tonic, which will give us 40% increased wound damage for a full minute. And obviously Warpikes are known for getting wounds, so this is a really good tonic to swap out if you're comfortable not having a bonus defensive tonic. Really good for Warpikes in particular. Moving on, we have the Ostian repeaters. These ones are a little bit different because the default cells are not the same as all the other weapon types. We are still running Infernal Barrow to do the blaze damage to prepare us for a potential Frost Escalation and Frost Behemoth that's coming up, as well as Searing Prism to do additional blaze damage. But we have Salvo Chamber, Captain's Grip, and Tactician's Magazine for the mod, and then I'm running a Berserker Cell and Fleet-Footed. Fleet-Footed, in my opinion, is probably the go-to just one-off mobility cell that you can throw on if you have it open. So I put that on there. And Berserker, I personally like it because I'm just more of an advanced player and I like the additional damage. If you don't like Berserker, and if you don't know what Berserker does, it removes your health down another 150 health, max health, but you do get a nice chunk of damage. You get 2% damage for 3 seconds. That stacks up to 10 times, so potentially 20% more damage from a 1+3 cell. So really strong there. But if you're not comfortable again with the 150 max health portion of that, feel free to throw a different technique slot on there. You could run, I mean, anything. You could run Cunning for increased critical strike chance, would be a good one. That'd probably be my second go-to option personally. And then again, the same armor set. Light's Crown, Rezakiri Helmet with +3 conduit and +3 Wild Frenzy for attack speed. Boreal Resolve Chest Piece with +3 rage and Iceborne for the increased damage and lifesteal. Boreal Might, the Boreas Gloves with +3 rage and a Discipline Cell to get us down to half health and activate all of our half health perks. The Boreal March Legs, the Boreas Legs with the final +3 into Iceborne and final +3 into Wild Frenzy. And then again, another weapon that you want attack speed on to get your combos off quicker, or not combos rather, but empty your clip quicker and boost your special attack. So I ran Embermane's Rapture to get that increased attack speed. And then finally our second +3 conduit cell to get us +6 for conduit. Now, the one thing I changed with the tonics and whatnot for the repeaters is, as I'm sure you guys know, repeaters are not that good at interrupting behemoths. Now, if you're in a group of people and you have other friends in your party that can interrupt the behemoths for you, then by all means, run Bulwark Tonic, run whatever tonic you want, and they can interrupt it for you. But personally, I like being in control of when and where I interrupt everything. So what I did was I threw on Concussive Grenade instead of Bulwark Tonic, because that is a very easy way as a repeater player to interrupt behemoths without having an interrupt attack. And then again, Blitz Tonic and Frenzy Tonic for increased attack speed and increased damage. And then last but not least, we have the Strikers. Now for the Strikers, again, I'm running Inferno's Flames, the Hellion Strikers. That will ideally give us +3 overpower, so we can get to +6 by the end of the build. For some reason, on the hammers and Strikers, I didn't have my Hellion armor, just because I use Umbral late game. I didn't have the Hellion Strikers power surge yet, but ideally you would have this at +3 with a +3 discipline cell to get us to half health and give us some critical chance, and a knockout king cell to give us increased stagger damage, because much like the hammers, the Strikers are really good at staggering. And then the special mod, I use Titan's Crash, and for the regular mod, Cyclonic Strike Plate. And then again, the same build. Light's Crown for the helmet with +3 conduit and +3 wild frenzy. Boreal Resolve for the chest piece with +3 rage and +3 iceborne. Boreal Might with +3 rage and +3 overpower. And on the legs, +3 iceborne and +3 wild frenzy for the Boreal March. And then because I like doing max damage similar to the chain blades on the Strikers, I went back to Drask Eye for the increased damage, the 30% increased damage, and then put our second +3 to conduit on there to get us to +6 for conduit. So if we go through these perks, just to recap, conduit is giving us 15% attack speed for 10 seconds to all slayers, including ourselves, on our lantern hold. Iceborne is making us tougher when below 50% health, which we will always be, and give us lifesteal. Rage will give us 25% more damage. Wild Frenzy will give us 20% more attack speed. Overpower will ideally give us 60% more damage when behemoths are staggered. Discipline, like before, is going to drop our health below 50% and give us a 7.5% critical strike chance bonus. And then on Strikers in particular, Knockout King is giving us a +15 stagger damage bonus. And that's what I had in my flex slot, like I was telling you. You can swap it with depending on the weapon. And then for the tonics, same go-to 3, Blitz, Frenzy, and Bulwark for increased defense, attack, and attack speed. And that's pretty much it. As you can see, same, with the exception of swords, same 4 armor pieces for every single weapon type. Every one of these perks are viable on every single weapon. So if you're looking for an efficient build that you can get really early on in the game with limited resources, this is my go-to budget build. I still even use this with a few little tweaks here and there. And I've been playing for a really long time. And then again, for the Hellion weapons, that will prepare us for the Frost escalation and the Frost behemoths that's coming out. So really good option there. And the Hellion weapons in general at lower levels are really good and really viable just because of the power slot. So wanted to base all those around the Blaze weapons. Excuse me. Because it's just going to be a really good choice for now and in the near future for the new content that's coming out. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got for you guys today. Thank you for all the recommendations. I had a really fun putting this video together. I'm glad I was able to finally get it out. Little hidden gem here of a build that a lot of us have used for a long time. Now you guys know. But again, thank you guys so much for the crazy support that you've given me over the last few weeks. We're 500 plus now. It's been like less than 24 hours. I think we gained like 10, 15 more since then. But to reiterate, we're doing that $50 Amazon gift card giveaway on the Discord. So be sure to click the link in the description below to join the official Glitch Gang Discord server and click on the verified member button once you get in there to join the giveaway. And once this video uploads, I'm going to start that right away, and I'll probably let it run for a week, like I mentioned before, give everyone a fair chance to get in. And once the deadline ends, it's going to randomly select one of you guys in the channel, and I'll get in contact with you and send out the gift card. So thank you guys again. We're going to be hitting that 1,000 mark really soon, I promise you. But until the next time, have a good day, and I'll catch you later. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. Also, if you're looking to join a killer community of like-minded gamers, then be sure to click the link in the description and join the Glitch Gang Discord server. We continue to grow every day, and it's filled with all your favorite game discussion channels, as well as several LFG channels to help you find that perfect group for your next hunt or raid. Lastly, if you're new to the channel and want to keep up to date with all my future content, then consider hitting that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. Hope you all had a great day, and I will catch you on the next one.